What if everything you've been taught about caring is actually the very thing holding you back? Think about that. We spend years, even decades, trying to meet expectations. Some we created, most we didn't. We seek approval, fear judgment, and tie our self-worth to how others perceive us. But here's the catch. The more we care about being accepted, the further we drift from who we really are. Michel de Montaigne, a philosopher from centuries ago, figured out something we're only just starting to rediscover. He believed that true peace doesn't come from gaining more control, but from letting go of it. Montaigne didn't just write about ideas, he lived them. And what he uncovered was a simple but powerful truth. When you stop caring about the wrong things, everything starts to fall into place. Start with this. How much of your stress comes from trying to live up to other people's standards? How often do you hold yourself back because you're afraid of what someone else might think? How much of your energy is wasted worrying about things that, in the big picture, don't actually matter? Montaigne believed that the pursuit of perfection is not noble. It's destructive. He saw how people trap themselves in the illusion that if they just tried hard enough, they could win the world's approval. But that illusion is a prison. Here's where most people get it twisted. Not caring isn't the same as not trying. It's not laziness. It's not apathy. It's clarity. It's freedom. When you stop needing approval, you stop second-guessing every move. You stop obsessing over how you look, how you sound, or whether you're saying the right thing. You begin living for yourself, not selfishly, but authentically. And suddenly, you're not performing anymore. You're just being. Montaigne noticed how people become prisoners in their own minds, looping in self-doubt, overthinking every step, obsessing over imagined consequences. He questioned why we allow the opinions of others to override our own instincts, why we cling so tightly to control even when we know life is inherently uncertain. And most importantly, he asked, what happens when we stop caring about those things? When you let go of the obsession with being perfect, you start seeing your flaws as part of your uniqueness. When you stop needing external validation, you begin to make choices based on what you want, not what you think others expect from you. And when you stop trying to control every outcome, you create space for things to unfold naturally. And here's the paradox. The less you try to prove yourself, the more powerful you become. Think about the most charismatic people you know. Are they the ones who chase approval, constantly explain themselves, and try to be liked by everyone? Or are they the ones who speak with ease, laugh without hesitation, and don't care if you agree with them or not? Montaigne understood this centuries before modern psychology put it into words. People are magnetically drawn to authenticity. When you stop performing and just show up as yourself, flawed, honest, unfiltered, you become more attractive in every sense of the word. But the benefits go beyond social appeal. When you detach from fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood, you gain something much more valuable: freedom. The freedom to take risks without paralyzing anxiety. The freedom to express yourself without wondering what people will think. The freedom to simply exist, without constantly measuring your worth against impossible standards. And here's the wild part. When you stop trying so hard to control everything, things actually start improving. You don't just feel better, you do better. Relationships become more real. Opportunities come to you without chasing. Decisions become clearer because they're aligned with what you truly want, not what you think you're supposed to want. That's the core of Montaigne's philosophy. Life stops being a struggle the moment you stop fighting reality. How many times have you held your tongue, swallowed your opinion, because you were afraid of how others would react? How many nights have you spent replaying a conversation in your head, wondering if you said the wrong thing? We've all done it. But what if all that worry, all that overthinking is based on expectations that were never yours to begin with. Montaigne invites us to step outside of these self-imposed cages. He challenges us to stop resisting uncertainty, to stop demanding perfection, and to stop letting fear make our choices for us. Because once you drop the need to be perfect, the fear of judgment, the obsession with control, something remarkable happens. You don't just feel free, you are free. This mindset isn't just philosophical, it's practical. It shifts everything. Because once you stop caring about how others define success, you start redefining it for yourself. Instead of chasing approval, you chase alignment. Instead of striving to be liked, you strive to be real. And instead of forcing your way through life, you begin to flow with it. That's the paradox Montaigne understood so clearly. The moment you stop needing something, it often starts coming to you. Stop chasing love, and the right people show up. Stop obsessing over outcomes, and new opportunities appear. Stop fearing failure, and you start taking risks that actually move you forward. But here's the twist. Most people resist this. Why? Because we've been conditioned to believe that if we stop caring, we'll stop trying. That detachment equals apathy. That letting go means we're giving up, but Montaigne turns that myth on its head. Not caring isn't giving up, it's growing up. It's finally choosing what matters and dropping everything that doesn't. And this shift doesn't just affect your inner world, it transforms your relationships. Think about it. How often do conflicts arise from expectations we silently impose on others? How much pain comes from trying to control how someone thinks, feels, or behaves? Montaigne recognized that genuine connection only happens when we stop trying to mold people into what we want them to be. The more we accept others as they are, the deeper the relationship becomes. Those who practice detachment don't do so because they don't care. They care deeply, but only about what's worth caring for. They're not cold or distant. They're present, grounded, and because they're not trying to force affection or demand attention, they become more magnetic, more respected, more admired. It's no coincidence that the people who seem the most desperate for attention often get the least of it. Meanwhile, those who are at peace with themselves naturally draw others in. That's the secret Montaigne was pointing at. How you relate to others is a reflection of how you relate to yourself. If you constantly seek validation, it means you haven't given it to yourself yet. If you fear being alone, it means you haven't made peace with your own company. And if you need others to behave a certain way to feel okay, it means you haven't built your own inner foundation. But here's the good news, you can change that. You can shift the focus inward, that you can stop obsessing over what people think and start asking what you think. You can stop fearing loneliness and start enjoying your own presence. You can stop being controlled by opinions and start being driven by purpose. When you do that, something powerful happens. You become untouchable, not in an arrogant way, but in a calm, quiet confidence that radiates from within. You stop letting outside noise dictate your inner peace. You stop giving your energy to things that drain you. And you stop living life as a performance. Montaigne teaches us that peace isn't found in avoiding conflict. It's found in refusing to be disturbed by it. It's found in knowing who you are, even if no one else understands. Because the truth is, the world may never fully get you, and that's okay. Imagine walking through life unshaken by criticism, unfazed by failure, and no longer begging the world to see your worth. What would that feel like? Montaigne believed that this kind of peace isn't just possible, it's natural, but only when we stop clinging to the things that were never ours to control in the first place. Letting go doesn't mean walking away from life. It means walking into it fully present, fully awake. You're not numbing out, you're tuning in. You're no longer carrying the weight of expectations that never belonged to you, no longer giving power to opinions that don't matter, and no longer trying to engineer a life so perfect that you forget to actually live it. And here's the most profound part of Montaigne's wisdom. The act of detachment doesn't isolate you, it connects you deeper, more honestly. When you stop trying to control others, they feel safer around you. When you stop needing love so desperately, real love finds you. When you no longer fear loneliness, you stop attracting relationships that are built on fear and dependency. That's the paradox. The less you need, the more you receive. Not because you're trying to manipulate life, but because you finally stopped resisting it. Montaigne understood that detachment isn't cold, it's courageous. It takes strength to release your grip on control, to accept people and situations as they are, to step back when your instinct is to hold on tighter. He also knew that true success, lasting success, is never born out of desperation. It comes from clarity, from flow, from trusting that life unfolds on its own schedule. Think about your greatest moments, the ones that changed everything. Were they meticulously planned, or did they happen spontaneously when you finally stopped forcing and just allowed? That's why the artist creates their best work when they're no longer chasing praise, why the entrepreneur takes a bold risk once they stop fearing failure, why love arrives when you're not looking for it. Some of life's most beautiful gifts only show up when you've cleared space for them, when you've stopped chasing and started trusting. This is the heart of Montaigne's philosophy. The moment you stop trying to control every detail, life has room to surprise you. And not just with peace, but with purpose, connection, joy, and yes, success. The real kind. The kind that feels good because it's real. Not because someone clapped for you, but because you showed up. We live in a world that tells us to hustle harder, plan tighter, and never let our guard down. But Montaigne saw that this constant control is a trap, a lie, a barrier to fulfillment. He believed that wisdom isn't found in conquering life, but in learning to dance with it, to move with it, to trust it. So ask yourself, what can you let go of today? What worry, what fear, what need for approval has been weighing you down? What would happen if you stopped gripping so tightly and started flowing instead? Because when you stop caring about the wrong things, the right things start to find you. That's the truth Montaigne discovered, and that's the truth you can live, starting now. If this message resonated, it's time to take the first step. Let go of one thing that's not serving you and watch what shows up instead. Subscribe for more ideas that shift your mindset and free your life.